star, bro. You're the star. I've been a professional strength coach for a few years now. I've also played and trained along a lot of the athletes that I've worked with, professional soccer players mainly. I want to break down exactly how I took several other athletes and myself from being injured and unathletic and feeling broken and in pain all the time to a path of feeling less and less pain and being able to put more and more effort into our sport. So, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm just going to tell you exactly what I did. A couple years ago, I couldn't get out of bed without feeling a lot of pain. Like just the walk from the bed to the bathroom was incredibly painful. My feet and ankles would be in terrible pain every time I woke up and just for the first few hours of every day. I had to spend hours and hours trying to get my feet and ankles to feel better, and then there was always other areas too. My knees killed me all the time. I had back spasms. I had multiple sports hernias, a lot of groin injuries. You name it, I dealt with it. It would take me like 30 to 60 minutes of just working on my ankles, just kind of like hopping back and forth and doing different prehab exercises, warm-ups, everything, and not really anything was working. I couldn't even take a deep breath properly. I felt like an old man. Fast forward to today, I now move and play, feel like a professional athlete, and it's all pain-free, like fast, powerful, explosive, and it feels effortless. So, here's how I did it. I wasn't born like a gifted athlete or naturally athletic, naturally talented. No one in my family was a professional athlete. I was the guy that had to spend an extra hour, 2 hours warming up before training, before the warm-up, just so I could feel good enough to play. I was also the guy that pushed through pain and injuries all the time, just over and over and over. In this cycle of being in pain, being injured, pushing through it, and then getting an injury that was so bad I couldn't play or train for a while. And then I'd come back, overdo it again, come back, get re-injured, and I'd just be in this constant cycle. And that mindset of always being behind is just what ultimately began to destroy my body. And there was a point after coming back from so many injuries, just going through it over and over again. I hit rock bottom, a brutal sports hernia surgery, months to come back from, and injured myself after that surgery as well. I needed to make a choice. Either stay in this cycle, rebuild from scratch, just throw out everything I know, and start over. And that was the decision I made. I decided to start and rebuild my body from scratch and figure out exactly what creates a world-class athlete and reverse engineer it and then build that in my own body. So let's start with what went wrong. Years of bad movement patterns and bad habits, years of anxiety and unhealthy breathing patterns, and years of bad training that fed into all of these compensations and poor patterns. All of these things that just doing them over and over again was making me work against myself. My teammates literally gave me the nickname Meatball because I was so puffed up, just so muscly from all the heavy lifting I was doing, all the hypertrophy training, just like trying to build my body up to look strong and to be able to move weights around, but not to be able to move well. They called me Meatball. I got back spasms, shin splints, the sports hernias, Achilles tendonitis, IT band syndrome, the list goes on. And the honest truth was I was doing all of the right recovery stuff. My nutrition was perfect. I was measuring my calories, lean proteins. I tried the keto diet. No amount of foam rolling, no amount of stretching, no amount of ibuprofen, none of that was going to fix it. So I had to start over. Starting over was a mindset shift. Thinking that I was going to lift my way to being a professional and world-class athlete, to realizing that you can only create tiny little adaptations in your body every single time you go and train, and that is the most you can do. Because if you think about it, the actual best athletes, their bodies, the structure, the chemical makeup, the mechanics, were created over years and years and years of work and genetics in synchrony together. I thought if I could figure out what those mechanisms are and recreate them in my own body. So step one was movement first. Grabbed everything I knew, started studying biomechanics, gait cycles. It had nothing to do with soccer anymore. It was just about figuring out how does the body move through space and what forces occur in that process. I threw out all the squatting, the bench pressing, all the traditional rehab exercises, the band work, all the things that you see on Instagram, everything your physical therapist tells you to do. I threw it out completely. And my parents were both physical therapists, and they went to PT school, and they know all these rehab exercises that are supposed to fix your body or get you back from injury. Those exercises do work for you to a certain extent, but they don't take you from being injured to a world-class athlete. They take you from being injured to feeling okay again, being able to do daily tasks again. But I needed more. The second step is building true stability. I don't think anyone knows what I mean when I say true stability. Most of the time, people hear true stability, they're thinking of like being able to balance on a Bosu ball, being able to brace your core when somebody, I don't know, knocks you off balance or something, and being able to be really tight here, or doing a press like this, or you've got a cable machine and you're doing a press like that, and you're tightening right here. Being able to plank. None of those things are true stability. Real stability is the ability to stabilize, crazy how simple that actually is, around a joint. In other words, the ability to connect all of the muscles around a joint at the same time. When you go to bench press, when you go to lift something, what are you always told? You're targeting your pectoral muscle, or you're targeting your lat muscle. Right? It's never about connecting all of the muscles around the joint at the same time. That's why I have these balls in my hand right now, because when I shake the ball, the pec is on, the lat is on. Everything right here has to be on. Right? If I lose stability around this joint, what happens? I can't move the sand around in the ball. The only way to move the sand in the ball is for everything, even the bicep, even the forearm muscles, every single muscle around the shoulder joint is turned on right now. Just one piece. I have to incorporate the entire body, incorporate the legs. Now we're creating real stability where the whole body is engaged at the same time and nothing is turned off. Do I look very stable here? No. Right here, incredibly stable. I couldn't be pushed from side to side because my feet are rooted in the ground and everything is turning on at the same time. Step 3 was about intent. So I had to prioritize movement, train true stability, and train with actual intent. Every session has to have intent. It's not about training to look good, it's about training to feel good, and looking good can come as a byproduct of that. Trying to cause real adaptations to the body to get more athletic. When everybody else goes to train, they're thinking about the amount of weight that they're doing, or just getting the exercises done, targeting a certain muscle. They're all just a little bit off what we're actually needing to do to create athleticism. That is cause real adaptations every single time you go to train. Let's talk about results. After about 6 months from that mindset shift and prioritizing movement and training with intent and focusing on actual stability and building actual stability, the pain started to go away. I was sprinting, jumping, changing direction, just like I never had before. Everything felt so much easier. Those times when I'd go to change direction and it would be like I have to take a bunch of steps and move my body like this because it was so stiff. It was becoming more and more fluid and more explosive. I could start to recreate the things that I would see my favorite soccer players do. I felt like a kid again. I could see Neymar do like a little move like that, and I could start to recreate it like when I was a kid and I would watch soccer on TV and I would go in the yard and practice all of the moves that Ronaldinho would do. And I realized over months and months and then into years that being a world-class athlete isn't just genetics. Genetics give you that head start, but you literally can rebuild all of the mechanisms that recreate or that create the world-class athlete. Started to build this system that can actually recreate those mechanisms over time. A lot of systems out there almost have it right, where they have a lot of good principles and they're focused on what the science tells them will work, but it's just a little bit off the actual truth of how the body functions. And if you understand that truth, then we can do amazing things like actually rebuild the body. Like genuinely take someone from no talent, no athleticism, no coordination, no ability to move their body, no kinesthetic intelligence. We can actually take them from where they are to a world-class athlete. So, if you feel broken or stiff or out of sync or like you can't trust your body, I have been there. I was there most of my life, and I want to help you. And that's what a lot of this channel is going to be about. What I want you to know is that it is legitimately possible to rebuild your body from wherever you are right now, whether you just got injured or you've been in pain for a long time. I'm just not sure why everyone on your team seems to have it easier than you. I've been there, and it is possible. You need the right plan and the right mentality to execute that plan. If you want more breakdowns on exact protocols, the exact exercises I use, training, scheduling, protocols, everything that I do to take myself from where I was to where I am now, and where I am now to actual world-class athlete competing with professional soccer players at the highest level. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to go over all of it. I've got a whole lot more to share about this. I want to know where people need help the most, so please go to the comments and tell me where you're injured or the injuries that you have in the past or what you're dealing with right now, and I'd love to start there and start helping you right now. If you're a serious athlete or entrepreneur, someone in the high performance space, whatever, you want to talk to me, you want to connect, follow me on Instagram, shoot me a DM. I don't have anything to sell, I want to help, so I'll help you for free.